which is something that I don't like. I always prefer to be on time, and for those who are joined in time, my big salute, because they have kept the punctuality in, and those who are not joining in time, better start to mind the time. Okay, fine. So we'll just begin. So during the session, okay, if you feel that you need to talk or you need to ask questions, please feel free to ask it, because on the go itself, if we are able to clear off any issues or doubts or something related to what we are taking, it will be good. And in the chat, if something is, you can use the chat window. I'll be monitoring the chat window. If there is something that I cannot take, or I don't know how to guide you in this, I'll take you offline, and I'll get all these questions ready and the answers ready, answers to all the questions you have asked, and I'll just pass it on to Alida and team, and she will definitely get back to you. And I'll be really glad to help you in any matter. Anything that is happening from any point in from this point in any point in the future. So I'll be there, no problem. I am already a mentor for so many people, so I don't mind mentoring a few young, bright minds. So let me just introduce myself. As she said, my name is Sekhar, and I am having 14 years of experience, industries experience. So by degree, I'm an engineer in communication engineering. And by degree, specifically, I meant because I do a lot of work now that is not related to engineering. So 2006, I did pass out, and after that, I decided to take up VLSI industry. I worked with Nest. Now it is known as Quest Global. And I was there in the technology business incubation department, where I was in charge of making a processor and kind of things. We didn't have any project manager at that point of time. Later, I decided to move on and go for in-depth analysis, in-depth design systems and all those things, analog design and all. So I had a 6 months internship at Semiconductor Laboratory, Mohali. And after that, I decided to try on my own. I've been an industrial design consultant for the next 2 years, 2008 to 2010. 2007 last to 2010. And then afterwards, I did join BSNL as a telecommunication engineer. And my journey around 10 years just ended by January 31st. And now I'm a full-time consultant for VTPL Solutions. It's an infrastructure company, and a full-time consultant with TRD, Thakshashila R&D. So Thakshashila R&D is a vertical-based company. Multiple verticals are there. R&D is the main thing, and we envision products. And plus, I am also in charge of the trend department it is having. And now I've joined the third company as Pro Bono. Pro Bono is doing consulting for free. Pro Bono with Lean Pitch Technologies, Bangalore. And the reason why I joined is that they are having so many social cause projects, which I find really interesting. So I am doing that. So Alida, can I just ask if the session is being recorded? Alida?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So there might be copyrighted materials. I think it should be circulated with you people only, because the copyrighted materials, if it is hitting back to me, then I'll have some problem. So make sure that when the slides are shown, some certain images that are taken from websites, because this is a non-profit program, I chose to use even copyrighted images. So when you're showing those copyrighted images, kindly make sure that you're blurring it if you are circulating it, please. Anyway, I'll just move on. So I'll just take up the presentation. If somebody has to ask, and I had asked Alida to actually take a survey on what you guys will be expecting out of this seminar. So I guess you have made that up initially, and at the end of the session I will just request you to fill up the form or Google form Alida is sharing with you, so that we can understand the issues, especially negative feedbacks on the session, and some things that you would want to include maybe in the future sessions. I would definitely be interested in taking more sessions for you guys. Right? I mean, trying to guide you in the correct way. So that will also be provided, I guess. And so we'll just move into the session. So I'm sharing my screen right now, and I will be just turning off my camera. If there is an issue with screen sharing or my audio, just interrupt me at any time, please. Okay. So guys, this is our PowerPoint. You can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we will be dealing with just a deviation from what we told in the beginning, that it's about industries, standards, and all, how to work and all those things. So I've kept in two different words. One is work ethos, and the second is failing fast. So we'll be dealing with work ethos and failing fast. So what is something that what is indicated by work ethos and failing fast? We'll see in coming slides. So I just want to start to finish the seminar would be of two parts. The part one would be dealing with people who actually look forward to join some companies and or new jobs, or again seeking to go for research and all those kind of things. So that would be my first part. The second part would be for those people who has the dream of starting something. So that starting something, I'm giving it as fail fast and with a task. So we'll just start. First part, as design, as shown in the part one, the first one was the first step. So my question to you is this: what could be the first step that you people take in order to find an employment? What would be the first step that you would take in order to find your employment? You can chat. You can use the chat box to respond.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir, 1 minute.
Okay.
Everybody should mute your audio, please. Please mute your audio. Sir, you can continue.
No problem. So my question was, the screen is visible to you, right? The PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you can see the PowerPoint presentation alone, right? Not my entire screen, right? Okay. So Fabi actually started off saying that we need to create a resume, correct? Go on. What else? Okay, start with hope. Yunus, you're good. Hope is one thing that always gets you forward. Kudos. And Niranjana, acquire the skills required. Great. Please go on. Come on, people, just participate. Everybody, you have to have an opinion about how you go. Self-confidence, good. Vision, great. Ashwin, great. Vision is a great word. And employability skills. Yes, 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 yes. We will come to that, Vishnu. That's a great thing. We'll come to that. Understanding the market. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Clear picture about ourselves. Vivek, you hit the button, man. Seriously. Great. Great, great. Vivek, you're bingo on target. Okay. So starting off, everybody give their point. It's good. Sanket, Patel Sanket, right? Sanket Patel. You have given a great vision. It's a desire. It's a hope, desire. Everything is correct. Vivek, you give a great explanation, clear picture about ourselves. Yes, exactly. That is what we need to have. See, the only Aldous Huxley is a great writer. He once said, the only point in the universe that is correctable or something that can be corrected is yourself. Okay. So in order for you to be corrected, you need to understand what you are, right? What you are. So that's the first point you need to understand. So have you heard the word SWOT? SWOT, SWOT, SWOT. Yes, yes. What is SWOT? You've heard the word, but you don't know SWOT. Okay, no problem. SWOT is actually strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, it's a term, and it's a methodology coined by somebody called as Albert Humphrey in 1960s, I think, in Stanford School of Business. Okay, SWOT. What is strength and weakness? Everybody in an interview, usually people ask, "What is your strength? Okay, what are your strengths?" And then the question comes, "What are your weaknesses?" Right? So if I'm saying that I have an ability to do great things in life, the person will ask you again, okay, what is the great thing that name one great thing that you've done in your life so far? Okay, so that would mean you have to present the proof of your skill. So the strength is something that actually defines you or makes you a unique person. Everybody is a unique being in this universe. So everybody is unique. One strength and one person is totally dependent, and it takes a different form in another person. So strength is something that you need to understand first. Equally important and more important is to understand your weakness. Okay, so these questions will always come in. So who will guide you through the strength and weakness? I think somebody's mic is unmute. If somebody is unmute, please mute it. I think Shilpa Shivan. Shilpa, would you mind please switching off your mic or muting your mic, please? Okay. So you need to understand your strength first. Even important, you need to understand your weakness. Okay. So when you understand your strength, who would help you to understand your strength? Your near and dear ones would definitely, if you don't know how to introspect, or if you find that your introspection is not correct, then what is the next thing that you can do? It's you to understand through the eyes of the friends and family or the relatives or near ones, to understand your strength and your weaknesses. Okay, so these things has to be written down. Then comes the opportunity and the threat part. So opportunity and threat both are called as risks. Okay, so risk management itself is a big vertical where a lot of businesses work, and a lot of businesses depend on that factor. So opportunity is something that can be termed as a positive risk, and threat is something that is a negative risk. So currently in this situation, what do you see as your risk? In this situation, your current situation, what do you see as a risk? Can you say what you see as a risk factor, positive or negative? Yeah, social distancing is what risk? Social distancing is not a health risk. Due to health risk, you actually choose to opt for social distancing. Yes, health is a risk. So the threat is there. So the threat had to be mitigated using social distancing. Anything else? For say a fourth year person, like somebody who has joined in the seminar, what would be the risk for him or her? Guys? Okay. I think everybody has gone mute. All right. So if there is an issue in any, yeah, okay, not having proper resources. Safa, can you just debrief on what you mean by not having proper resources? Just an example. Okay, I'll wait for, yeah, because they don't have proper access to library. Okay, good. Okay, that is, yeah, fine. Automation. Okay, automation is what, Vishnu? You want to say automation is a risk, a negative or a positive risk? I think, Vishnu, automation is both a positive and a negative risk. I think that is the point you wanted to make. Anyway, good point that you made. Fine. Yeah, network problems. Great. Yes, Safa, correct. And yeah, we'll just come back to the risk factor. Okay, the risk is for you guys. The risk is that the biggest risk is that the world is going on a downward spiral in terms of employment. Okay, the greatest risk that you're facing now, the world is going down on a spiral. The spiral in the sense that it is just not a correctional spiral. It is a very dangerous spiral that world is actually going down. But what is the positive risk associated with that? What is the positive risk associated? So the negative risk, I told you, employment is actually going down. Why? Companies don't have that kind of demand to their product or produce or service or whatever it might be. The companies are not having that much of demand. So when the demand is going down, why the demand is going down? Because people is not having enough money to spend. Okay, when the demand is going down, then that means the entire thing, the employment and the related allied infrastructure is also going down. Like in April and May, I think in March and April, not even a single car was sold in for Tata Motors. Not even a single car was sold for Tata Motors. So that is a huge loss of revenue. I mean, everything gets affected. So for you, that is a downward spiral. So what is the positive side of it? Can you say what is the positive side of it? I mean, positive side of everything that is happening around you in India or in Kerala or whatever it might be. What is the positive side of it? Yeah, great. Amar, yeah, you're my hero. Work from home. I'm always working from home. Great. Opportunity for more online business. Great, Lakshmi. Great, Lakshmi. Anything else? More time to exploit. Totally true. More time to explore. Digital revolution. Great. So youth is understanding that there is a possibility to actually better your life by staying at home, right? So you can spend more time, you get more time to yourself, you don't have to roam around, you don't have to actually loiter and waste your time, or you don't have to tire out. You can have a book to read, or you can choose to play with your mobile, which I wouldn't advise. I mean, that's a very bad thing because we are just wasting our time in that. So anyway, reading out a book, yeah, time for upskill, the next generation of workforce. Yes, true, Ashish, correct. You know something? See, in the last 13 and a half years, I didn't get even a single accreditation or single certification. It's after January It's during this lockdown that specifically speaking, February 15th onwards, I started my learning curve, and I finished up. I mean, how many certifications? Five certifications. One, I'm a product owner with Scrum Alliance, and then I'm a Prince 2 certified project and control environment. Then I am certified in project management professional under PMI. Then I got certification. I mean, certification is pending actually for Scrum Master, Scrum Alliance Scrum Master, and again I got certification for. I'm being certified in data sciences. So it's after this lockdown I found so much of time to spend for myself. Yeah, it changes the way how business works. Great. Yeah, true. Everybody is true. So that is the kind of positive risk that you have. Okay, and for as a person who is actually looking for a job, what is the takeaway for you? What can you take away from it? Do you think that something else can happen? The reason, I'll tell you, the reason fiasco with China, it's a great risk for us because we depend on China for a lot of things, including mobiles, you name it, we are dependent on China. But what is the greatest opportunity that something is coming out of it? It's the greatest opportunity is that we are trying to correct ourselves. There will be an ecosystem which would demand people from inside to work up great innovations, great products, so that we can cut down the dependence on another country. Okay, so self-dependence in most countries are trying to do that. So self-dependence is one of the positives that we can take out from this negative risk. Okay, so that risk assessment for self is a must first step that you should take. Risk assessment and SWOT analysis of the self. That means if Vishnu is doing that, Vishnu should understand the entire SWOT related to Vishnu. You don't have to discuss everything with your friends. There are certain weaknesses that you can't discuss. There will be strengths that you definitely can discuss. So only find people to actually help you out. Ask people to help you out. There are people in the world who actually wants to help you out. At least there are Malayalis who wants to give advices for free. That's the main thing that Malayalis can do. Anyway, you take advantage of that. So my first point would be to actually assess the risk situation that you're having. That is the first step. And the first step would be just not assess the risk situation, to complete do a SWOT analysis for you guys. So SWOT analysis is simply, you can think about as like strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. You just fill it up in 3 or 4 columns. You can analyze that. So what is the opportunity I'm having? What is the risk that I'm having? If I'm taking such a risk, what is the opportunity I'm getting? Is this opportunity aligned with my weakness or with my strength? So I should always play to my strength. So how can I actually increase my opportunities with strength? So if I'm using my strength more, will there be a negative risk or a positive risk? Or if some positive risk is coming, how can I actually mitigate and take it to a positive risk? So this is the kind of thing that you want to do in the first step. So, I mean, being said, can we just so this is a case study. Okay, a simple case study. It's a very simple one. So there is a security guard opening, vacancy of a security guard of a mall. Okay, so in the resume, what would you say the strengths and the weaknesses are? So I don't want you to discuss here. I just don't want to discuss here. I will just give you 1 minute. So imagine yourself as a contender or a company or a person who is going to apply for the job. Okay, as a security guard of a mall. Security guard of a mall. So you want to put your strengths and weaknesses in your resume. Okay, so you want to put your strengths and weaknesses in your resume. By the way, resume preparation is not so easy. It requires a complete SWOT analysis of the self before you can actually build up a good resume. So anyway, said that what would be the strengths and weaknesses you would fill up in 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses that you would fill up, so that your job possibility due to filling up of that strength and weaknesses is actually higher. I'll just give you 1 minute. 1 minute. Just fill it out. Okay, you don't have to discuss, just fill it out. Just contemplate yourself as a person who is going to apply for the job, you just need to make sure that you're putting in the right strength and right weakness for the job. Okay, I think the 1 minute is over. 3 weaknesses and 3 strengths. So what would you suggest the weaknesses could be? We'll just start off with the weakness. You're a security guard, and what would be your weakness? Just give me 1 or 2. Doesn't have to be related to the way you're thinking. Any 1 or 2 weaknesses related to, I said 3. If you can give 3, that's good. 3 weaknesses that can be given in your resume, for application for security guard in a mall. Ah, great, Sandesh, bang on target. Has a lack of sleep. Good, 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 good. Anything else? Sandesh is right. Anybody else with any great ideas, great thoughts on how you should actually write your weaknesses? No one? Okay, maybe I'll ask about the positives. First, let's just talk about the negatives. Okay, has a lack of sleep. Great one, Sandesh. So that is one weakness. Okay, the second one, I would just, yeah, prone to boredom. Prone to boredom means like you are irritated by boredom, right, Jubin? Boredom is something that irritates you. Maybe you can just rephrase it, like say sitting idly for hours, right? Prone to boredom. Instead of that, you can just write sitting idly for others, right? Being more, say no. I'm talking about the weaknesses. Prone to boredom is correct. Prone to boredom is correct, but the thing is that you just can change to sitting idly. Okay, so lack of sleep is perfect. Then sitting idly is correct. Then anything else? Can we write watching TV? Usually, if the security guard is not on rounds, he or she would be sitting inside the CCTV room, right? Watching TV for others, for hours, right? For hours and hours straight. The only job would be doing that. Don't you think so? Right? So you can also write that. So watching TV for hours, long hours, sitting idly, and being an insomniac due to disturbances in the environment. So being insomniac means, yeah, missing out, Alvin, or missing out shoplifters. If you write that, you are definitely not going to get the job, Alvin, because you can't. Stock, Sanjay. You want to stock? Great. Maybe you can just rephrase it. Ex-military Mohammed Yunus, it will be a strength that you would write. Sanjay's stock is correct, but you just need to rephrase it. Okay. Anyway, if it is always better if you have some weaknesses, you can't always say it straight. You have to just twist that truth so that it is not entirely a lie, but it's not entirely the truth. Okay, you have to bend the truth. You cannot just simply put it straight. Putting it straight becomes too obvious, and people might take it in the wrong way. Like stock, you can just say you can you have a good observation skill about people. So this entire stalking thing can go to the positive side. So starting off with Mohammed Yunus, ex-military would be a good strength, right? So anything else with the strength? Ex-military is a good strength. Anything else? Physical fitness, good. So you can say that you have a sports experience or a sports background, right? Activity, sports yeah. Punctuality, Ganga, is not a strength. Punctuality is something that you always need. Okay. So alertness, yes, alertness, legit martial art, Sandesh, correct. Sociable, good. Combat efficient, okay. Amber is more into fighting. Good, good. Anyway, that's great. That's great. Yeah, cadet corps you can write instead of combat experience. Either you have in school cadet corps experience. If you don't, if you're not a military, you can say you worked in a cadet corps environment, or even if you were in NSS, National Service Society. So that also can be written. And sports definitely, martial arts definitely, alertness is definitely there. Loyalty is great, but loyalty you might have to prove, because if we have a previous experience of say leaving the job every 6 months or something, loyalty can't be given. Okay, it will be a contradicting thing. But anyway, you can just bend the truth and prove it. I mean, give it in a different scenario. So the reason why I put you this through this task is because, yeah, reflex action. Safa, good, good, good. So reflex action, can you improve it? And Alvin, mentally and physical, mental strength and physical strength is good. Reaction time will be less compared to others. Okay, doing correct. Reflex action, great. So the reason why I put this exercise to, I mean, for you is because you need to understand that each job you need to apply with a set of CV that is very much pertainable to that job alone. You cannot make something that is generalized one and apply for all. Please do not do that. Okay, so that is the first mistake that everybody does. Don't do that. So in order for you to understand that, you need to have a self contemplation, right? Self contemplation is a must. And that means that you need to understand yourself, do the SWOT analysis. Then what you should do before applying for this thing, you should have what? You should have what? An idea about what you're applying for, right? Idea about ourselves is right. Idea about what you are going to face. So that means it comes to a second step. Narrow down before take down. Okay. Before you actually opposing something or trying to fight or trying to actually attack something, you need to have an idea of what that is. Okay, if in this case it's a UFC fight where one person is actually taking down the opponent, this process is called take down the opponent and trying to pin him down and beat him. You see that scenario. See, he has taken that opponent to a corner so that he is not able to escape. So that means in this case also you have to study what you are applying for, what is actually being done, what is actually being expected out of you, and all those things. Everything has to be researched for before you apply for that. Okay, so the next thing I would say is like, even before you actually go on a CV preparation route, okay, you have analyzed your strengths, weakness, and all those things. You visit. My suggestion is this: you visit job sites, legitimate ones. I mean, like Indeed jobs or LinkedIn jobs. You just visit them and just type in your say interest doesn't have to mean that you always look for technical jobs. Okay, somebody is really good in designing a poster. He can be he can be an artist, he can be a freelancer, right? He can be somebody who creates good work. So suppose I'm typing in say Photoshop expert, Adobe Photoshop expert. Okay, then I can actually give more keywords in advanced search and look for many job posting that is coming down. So what you do is like, you click on the job posting, go to the job description part. Okay, job description part, if it's like given by the company directly, job description part is the most important part of that job posting. Okay, it is a bit confusing. People who doesn't have any experience, when you look through that, it becomes very confusing, because each and every word in that job posting is absolutely important, especially the requirement part. So you cannot neglect that session, and that is the reason why that company has put that section in that job posting. So you have to decipher the job description section. So Usually what happens is like you have to each and every word that is posted in the job description that you don't understand, you have to Google it down and find out. Say for example, it's written MySQL. Most people know about MySQL, but some doesn't. So what you do, you just take MySQL and Google it. So Google will give you an idea about what MySQL is and the competitors of MySQL or the other alternatives of MySQL and the reason why MySQL is used. So say MySQL is MySQL. Okay, it's MySQL is the pronunciation that is given for MySQL. Usually in industry, MySQL is the name that is given. So MySQL or MySQL, you can just learn what it is used, what are the alternatives, what are the competitors, and in which all environments it is used. It makes you more aware of the thing that you're searching for. Okay, I'll tell you an example that I faced in real life. Okay, so for VTPL Solutions, I did around 15 interviews of people, 15 sets of interviews, each having around 20 people or something. So we had given a word out for route surveyors. Okay, route surveyors, ROUTE surveyors. So a lot of people came because the job was paying good, around 20,000 plus conveyance and all. So a lot of people came. 99% of the people who came in didn't know what a route surveyor was. When I asked them, do you know what you have to do? They had nothing to say. By the two words, they understood like they have to go to point A to point B. But what after that they wanted to do, they didn't know. So the reason, because we had given a good job description along with the advertisement that this is what is required. Nobody actually looked at it. 99% of the people, leave aside all the talent, leave aside all the hardworking nature and everything, they missed out on this single point. They didn't actually know what a route surveyor was, or they didn't take the pain to actually narrow down their search. And they simply came down for takedown. So before he could take me down, I threw them out. Okay, so that was the problem that I face in real life. So this is mainly done by almost all the people. Don't do that. You are confident? Good. You have done your homework? Good. But you need to understand what the company is wanting from you. Is the company wanting the right thing from you? Is it okay for you to go there, give an interview, and if you're selected, take up the job? If you're not going to take up the job, kindly don't waste the time of the person sitting opposite to you, nor your time. Okay, neither yours nor his time. You don't go there if you can't relate it. But if you can relate it at least by a little bit, that okay, this part I can do, this part I don't know, but I am very confident of doing that, then you can do. So that is what I meant by narrow down before taking down. Okay. And the third thing, you have contemplated yourself, you have narrowed down your opportunity, then comes the first break. Okay, and I don't mind that picture on the right, because it's actually contradictory. So I wanted to say that always do not stop at the breaks that you make, and that your first break won't be your last. So break is any opportunity that you get in securing something that is worthwhile. Okay, are you following, guys? Just a thumbs up would be fine. Okay, good. Thank you. So the first break is something that, or the first interview is something that you want to secure. So in this current scenario, and just imagine that the scenario worsens. Just imagine, you have to take always for the worst case scenarios. Just imagine that the scenario is getting worse. Initially, 2 years back, say if 90% are writing the test for recruitment, 60% were selected, and out of that around 40% were selected. So the kind of recruitment rate would be around 50%. Okay, now due to shortage of jobs inside those companies, within those companies, and shortage of positions and shortage of revenue, they have decided they're not taking more than that. Say out of 100 people, they're taking only 2. So that means people are not going to get more opportunities, right? Am I right? Your opportunities will be less, which is a headache for you. It is something that you don't want to think about, right? Currently. And things will get really bad. Things will get really bad, but it is how you take it that matters. Always the things are not bad. In the way you see it, always things are not bad. Always there is an opportunity for getting better. Okay. So anyway, how would you make your first break? You have attended at least 10 or 12 interviews. Has anybody attended the interview so far? Out of curiosity, has anybody attended interviews? Jubin has attended. Madhav, okay, okay. So what was the output from that? Success? Okay, maybe you don't wish to disclose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Jubin, great, great. You got through, great. That's good. Okay, see, I actually passed out from my college during a time when there was a Great Depression. Okay, it was not that great in of that in 1940s and all. There was a recession, serious global recession. You might have heard Lehman Brothers failing, right? And that actually turned a big spiral, turned into a big spiral. 2008, yes, exactly, yes, exactly. When in 2006, every person in my college thought that I was going to be the first person to get the placement. I was not. Seriously. First, second, third, fourth, no, I was not. I was the 28th person in the college to get the placement. Everybody expected, my teachers and everybody expected me to score more. Not that I was a great student or something. I could talk. So I was like, everybody thought that I would get it first. But anyway, I didn't get. So it was I was the 28th something person to actually get a job. And that too, my first job was a call center. Call center, it didn't come to a college, but I had to go there at it. But my first break was really great. I somehow went out, found my opportunity, talked that person in, and then I got the first break. And after that, I got around 8 jobs, including Investnet, Infosys, UST, IBS, and 1 or 2 other companies were there. I don't remember exactly. And I didn't take the job. Okay, I didn't take any of them. Instead, I went for Nest because I wanted to explore my opportunities in VLSI designing. And after that, say 2006, 2007, I decided that I had a bigger calling. I wanted to go for analog designing and maybe a little more technically detailed analysis of things. And I would have a greater opportunity because most of the cases, if somebody is going into analog opening, I would be securing at least a 6-figure salary. In Nest, I was getting hardly 6,000 rupees a month. Okay, 30,000 rupees job I left. I didn't go. I opted for a 6,000 rupees job because I wanted to actually pursue this thing. In 2008, when my internship was over, 90 people did the internship and course there. And out of that, only 2 persons got campus selected. All the rest didn't get anything, because there was a recession hitting. No jobs are there, no businesses were there, nothing was coming out of US because we all depended. India was completely dependent on US for its work. Okay, India didn't have a good market. It was completely dependent on a service working culture on US. Even now it is dependent, a big level. But during that time, so 2008, I was jobless, literally jobless. I had a job, I left it, I went for this internship, I completed my internship, I was jobless. So 2 years I really struggled. I mean, struggle in the sense that I was an industrial automation engineer, and I did so many consultation work and all those things. I did good business. Everything was there, but the struggle was too much. During this time, a few of my friends opted to go to Bangalore, stay there no matter what. No matter what, they stayed there. For 2-3 months, they actually sloshed and slogged, literally, and they got in. Mind you, 2008 in Bangalore, they got jobs for monthly payment of 2000 rupees, just 2000 rupees. And they stayed there, somehow stayed there. I mean, part of the persons actually worked part-time in hotels as suppliers, so that the leftover food can be brought to their home, and they can share it and eat. 14 people were staying in one room. Every single person in 2010, when things got better, every single person got a 6-digit salary. Example, I'll give you my friend Rakesh. He joined one company for 4,000 rupees. He was diligent. He didn't ask for a single raise for 1 year. Not even a single raise. Whatever job was given to him, he did. Overtime, extra time, whatever. He didn't ask for anything. To be honest, paying off his efforts, the company was acquired by Sandisk. From 6,000 rupees he received, it jumped straight down like CTC 9.6 lakhs per year. So that's the kind of investment that you want to make. It's not about the money that you find initially. It's about the commitment that you give to the company to get back something. Okay. So only if you give something, you will get back something. It doesn't mean that you have to do slave labor, but you have to have a foresight, a vision about how things are going to come out. So it is almost like the same condition here now. Not everyone will be successful. Not everyone will be lucky in getting jobs, but things are going to improve. But when, you don't know. But that when it improves, you need to be in the loop. You need to plan yourself. You need to be in the loop so that you can always jump ahead. When the time comes, you can catapult. Okay, so every single person who went to Bangalore struggled during that time. I mean, 13 or 14 people were there. Every single person is now in a great position in one of the great companies, one or two of the great companies in India and world. One is in Cadence Systems. He's now, I think, VP, Vice President Asia Operations. So I'm just giving you a story of how things can change out. Okay, so you should explore the options of working even if you're not getting paid. Getting paid doesn't mean that, I mean, working somewhere doesn't mean that you can't actually make something out of it, something out of somewhere else. You need to ensure that you have to find or think out of the box to find other alternative ways to work. Okay, fine. Or am I too much beating about the bush? If you want me to cut down all the stories part and all, you can just tell me. Are you fine with the way this is doing, or should I change it? If there is something that someone wants to tell, be open. I would love to take negative feedbacks. I'd love to be criticized, please. Oh, it's going goof. Okay, Safa. What should I do? Is going goof or good? Goof is a different word. Oh, so okay. Thank you. If somebody is feeling bad, please let me know. I don't want to bore you. 2 hours of your time is very valuable to you, so I don't want to bore you. Okay, fine. If something is good, I'm so happy. So these are the 3 things that you always want to concentrate on. 1, retrospect, find yourself, discover yourself. 2nd, narrow down. You have to understand what you're attacking, what you're trying to find out, then attack. And then create all the environment to create the first break. There are a lot of opportunities, lot of ways to create the first break. I would just suggest, please don't look for MNCs. Okay, MNCs are just good for nothing. Okay, you won't get anything out of MNCs. If you want to work, if you want to find work, if you want to be good with work at what you do, you have to start out, look for startups. Okay, you have to look for startups or scale ups or even unicorns. You know what a unicorn is? Unicorn, 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 one-horned horse, mythical creature. You know what a unicorn is in corporate world? No? Okay. Yeah, startup which has enough funding. To be true, a part is true, Sandesh. Startup which has actually made $1 billion valuation at any time. That's a unicorn. Okay, $1 billion, not million, $1 billion valuation, or 700 crores of valuation is there for the company. Like Oyo Rooms is a unicorn. Snapdeal is a unicorn. Flipkart is a unicorn. So there are umpteen number of unicorns now in the world. And to be honest, there are, as per the data, there are around 473 unicorns. Unicorns are definitely startups. 473, 479 or 480 unicorns in the world, out of which 50%, near to 50% in US, 203, and more than 50%, not more than 50%, the higher number, 206 companies in China, and India has got 37 unicorns. And India is actually going to join the race. Don't worry, India will reach there. Thanks to you people, India will reach there. Okay. Yeah, 32 or 37. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So I was talking about unicorn. So always give yourself a space, a thought on where you want to go in. Find a good startup. Find a startup that is actually doing good. Startups, why I always say to look for startups, because in big companies these recruitments will be dealt with by HRs. See, HR managers are a class of people who don't understand anything, who always give the attitude saying that okay, we don't have a vacancy. That's the only thing they know how to say. Or see, how do you define yourself, or how do you see 5 years down the lane? Okay, these are all valid questions, but the thing is that they don't understand the mindset of people or problem solving people. Only those people who are so relatable to work, actual work, they know and they understand how a person can perform, or they'll have a gut feeling of how a person can perform. So in startups or scale ups, this HR and everything will be handled by the person who is taking the technology or the technical or the operations part of the company. So he or she might be able to get a good picture of you. You can see through you and maybe extend a chance for you to join the company. Maybe as a initially as an intern, take it. If it's a good company, if it's a good work, if it's your dream job, just take it. Okay, just take it, give it a good try, give it a great try. In fact, just work it out, find yourself into the league, try to solve problems, all those kinds of things you can do. And that is how you utilize your first break. I would always say don't go for MNCs, but it's up to you to take it. So we'll have a 3-pronged attack. One is like self analysis. The second is like narrowing down. The third one is to get your first break. And everything can be done. Everything can be done because I have done it. If I can do it, so can you. So he is Rocky Balboa. Everybody might be knowing who Rocky Balboa is, at least a part of the entire boys gang. Rocky Balboa is one of my all-time favorite characters, and I take these two quotes as my inspiring quotes. So every champion wants a contender who refused to give up. Okay, if somebody has to succeed, he was always a contender for success. If somebody has to succeed, he was once a contender. He was once a punching bag, but he now is a champion. Sorry, guys. Second is even more interesting for me. Give all the other things a go. It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get the hit, or you can get hit and keep moving forward. And that's how winning is done. So these two quotes, because I've taken a great amount of beating. Great amount of beating. I have started 4 companies. 4 of them have failed. I've lost a lot of money. I've started 4 companies. 4 of them have bombed, literally draining me out of my entire life savings. I still go on because it's testing you how hard you can take the hit. Okay, so I'll just share you the video. Just let me know if it's not audible. Sorry, guys. Sorry again. Can you see the video or can you hear the audio? Okay. One sec.
Sir, it's not audible.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'll try to play that video. Can you hear now? No? So bad. One sec. I'm so sorry. Guys, I'm so sorry. One sec. I'll share you everything.
Sir, it's not audible.
Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Okay, I'll just be back. Just give me a moment. So were you able to hear that? Guys? Guys, were you able to hear that, or it was still inaudible? Guys?
Not audible, sir.
Still
Not
not
audible.
audible. Okay, okay, don't worry, don't worry. So I'll share the PPT and the videos also to you. You can just have a thing later. Okay. So I'll be showing without the videos. You can hear me, right? Right? You can hear me out. Hello. You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So I'll be opting not to show you that videos now. I'll share you the presentation because we don't want to waste the time. So before without showing the videos, I'll be just browsing through that thing. I'll share you the entire presentation. Everybody who is part of it can have the presentation and just go through that. Okay, it's just inspiring quotes, nothing else. I thought that this would inspire you also to do. Finding something. So that's why I just included these things. So with through this I want to actually come to the values that you should actually cherish the most for you to go forward in life. So that is the only thing that I wanted to share. One sec. Again, I just reopen it and I'll share again, and then we'll just move forward. Okay. Okay, so the first value that I want to actually point out is perseverance. Okay, perseverance is the value that you actually need to follow. Like, say, if you want, say, first rank in college, what do you do? Like, you study more, you hard work, you do all the kind of things. See, first rank doesn't mean that the other ranks are bad. First rank is somebody's relative thought that, okay, I want to be the topper. Okay, so I don't see anything bad in that, but I don't say that that's the only thing that matters. So anyway, values to live for is one is perseverance. Okay, perseverance is like a persisting attitude. Never say go. See, no matter what happens, I am going forward. No matter what I do, I want to finish this off. That kind of attitude is called perseverance. Okay, so first quality that you need to have. See, punctuality is not a quality. Punctuality is something that you need to have innately, because for that then people will actually respect you. So honesty, yeah, you can't say honesty is a good virtue. I don't think so, but you have to be as honest as possible. But it is always better if you don't tell some truths that are not acceptable to the other person. It's better not to say those truths. So in effect, you become dishonest, but you're not actually dishonest entirely. But you're not blatantly throwing the things of pots and pans at the other person's face. So honesty is again a virtue that you can opt to have or not. Again, those kind of virtues are there, but the thing is, like, this is kind of a quality feature that you should have in life: perseverance. If you don't persevere, you will never go ahead. You will never go ahead. So that is one value that I felt that you should live for. In all my 14 years of life and all my efforts of getting through, this is one quality that I felt that should be there. If I'm not audible, please tell me, guys. I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Fine, fine, Lakshmi. Thank you. And the second quality, I think most of you have seen this video. If not, you can get the share of my presentation and then you can watch. It's a great video. It's a great video. You will have tears in your eyes. It's a great video of empathy. Okay, this is a kind of this is kindness shown by one person. How it brings about a massive change to the people around him. Okay, so with that, I come to the second value that you need to have. the value of empathy. Empathy is not saying that, oh, poor guy, what did he do? No, that is sympathy. Okay. Empathy is a kind of feeling or a virtue that you choose to stand in the other person's shoes. If somebody is fighting with you, okay, literally arguing and fighting with you, if you want to stop the fight, you can either choose to kill him or leave the scene. Okay. You can either choose to kill him, bite him down, okay, or leave the scene. Either way, you're not doing it right. There's a third way to actually put yourself in his shoes and think why is like that, why it is like that. It's a very difficult thing, mind you. It's not an easy one. It's a very, very, very difficult thing. But it's not like you need to have that bond innately in you so that you have to be an empathic person. No, you can create. Always try to be in the other person's shoes. See, I am trying honestly from my part to be a listener. I'm trying. That's why I brought up some videos to actually end up the mundane talking scenario that I'm having, to actually end up the entire mundane kind of speaking that I'm doing for you, and to actually remove all the boredom. I tried to bring in some videos, but unfortunately it backfired. That was a risk I took. So anyway, I want to say is like always put yourself in the other person's shoes. I would give you an example. See, how many of you have not slept even in a single class, not even a single minute for the entire 4-year engineering or MCA or degree time that you're putting? How many? If there is someone, please let me know, because that person will be one unique person to put in the showcase, or maybe deserving a world award, right? Anyone? Any single person who has not slept, not even a single time? No, right? Everybody might have slept. So did you actually sleep because of the only fact that you were not interested, or the teacher was not delivering it correctly? Mostly a mix of two, right? Have you ever given a thought why the teacher might be presenting like this? Have you given a thought? Why? Did you ask the question why? Or are you in a process of asking questions why quite often? Why is this like this? Why is that like that? Why is that so? If this is why it is doing like this. So why is the reason that such a thing is happening? Or even if such a thing is happening, why is it happening? Do you give a thought like that? Guys, all slept. Sandra and everybody is leaving meeting. I think they are all getting sleepy. Hello? Nobody is responding in the chat. Guys, can you hear me? Guys? Hello? Alita, can everybody hear me? Can you just confirm that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I think nobody is responding on purpose. Anyway, people have left. 84 it was. Now it is 68, down 68. So we've lost around 16 people. So that is a loss of like 20%. Anyway, that's a great loss for me. Anyway, so we just move on. I think people are not interested in answering the questions. Anyway, putting yourself in the shoes of another person is called empathy. That is one quality you need to have. The third and the last quality you need to have is contentment and saying enough. Saying that this is enough for me, okay? This is what I would say no to. Okay, this is where I finish. This is my limit. I don't want to go ahead. So this is where I put my greed, my lust, everything at border. And afterwards, I don't want anything else. See, hunger is something which always culminates in contentment. Would you eat more than what you can take, what your stomach can take? Maybe 2 or 3 morsels full you will take. After that, will you take? Say if you're eating a good food like biryani or something like that, and you're eating and eating and eating, 2 plates you ate, third plate also you ate, would you say yes to another plate? Normally, no person will say yes to another plate because his hunger is contented, right? Completely reached the state of contentment, right? Guys, I guess you need a break. If you want a break, you just tell me. Alvin?
Sir, people
Yeah? Safa?
Sir, you should scroll down.
Responding to
No,
you
no.
in the chat section. I think you can't see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm being dumb person. I'm very sorry, okay? Thank you, Safa. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you. So Madhav is all laughing. Thanks. Okay, fine. So you proved me dumb also. Thank you. Okay, so contentment is something that you always want to settle down for. So I would just request you to see the third video also. This guy is really great. He's an ex-soldier, and I had a chance to meet him. There are many videos of him. Try to get thoughts from people of this kind. Inspirational, really inspirational, and try to apply it in your life. You have to apply it in your life. If you don't apply something that you've learned in your life, it's literally useless. Okay, that is what I believe. Now comes the most important and interesting part one can have. Have you heard this word entrepreneur? Anybody? You might have heard the word entrepreneur. Everybody might be hearing the word entrepreneur. See, entrepreneur was a new term when I was in my college, like in 2002, 2003. It was a new term, entrepreneurship. Now entrepreneurship is nothing. Everybody knows, even small children. Do you know entrepreneurship or entrepreneur? So entrepreneur, as something as shown, is like is a person who is associated with a company, usually a startup. Okay, he's just a part of a company. The company pays him with salary, maybe not a big salary like a corporate, but a salary. But he is given a great position, great responsibilities, and the freedom to actually take decisions. Maybe not as much freedom as the owner, but he'll be taking decisions like a new project, or finding new people for the project, finding new resources for the project, doing in a different way. When you in MNCs, you won't be able to do it. If there is a system to do certain things, that system you have to follow, no matter how idiotic those systems are. But in a smaller organization, you have the freedom to actually change the systems. So I am currently working with many organizations to change their current system of working. Inclusion of practices like Agile and Scrum into the normal usage. So those kind of things can be used like in entrepreneur. That is why I am always asking you, or I'm trying to persuade you to think about the entrepreneur way. Like go to a startup or a scale up or some company which is doing good in their first businesses itself, not like the other corporates which is having multiple number of businesses. So you will have more challenges to face. Even if you do an internship, it's a great challenge that you will be facing. So you have to opt for being an entrepreneur. Always, that is the first choice you should have. That's what my suggestion is. If you have a lot of companies who don't have time, you keep entrepreneurs. Can't say Sam Ashish, because not every company is like that. They want to keep entrepreneurs because I have friends who are senior level project managers in IBS, in Infosys and all. They're currently working with startups and scale-ups as vice presidents and all. They don't have that much of salary they were getting in IBS and Infosys and UST Global, but they're content with their job because they're getting a lot of work. a lot of opportunity to explore themselves and to actually build on their skills. So it depends on each company. So that's what I said. You have to relate to the company, you have to relate to the job first. Okay. So the next is like training. Everybody knows the need for training. You need to understand your skills. You need to understand your strength, your interest, and then build skills according to that, and not just blindly go for any market trend. Okay, data science is good right now, let me go for data science. That person might not be having any interest in maths or statistics. If that math or statistics interest is not there at all, there is no point for a person to go into data science. Okay, that person might not be even interested in doing a coding. Not that coders are breed apart. No, everybody in this world is a coder. If somebody, if a human is actually doing a job in a step-by-step way, like going to the market or going to the bus from point A to point B, they're always following an algorithm. Okay, if somebody is following an algorithm in real life, he or she is definitely a coder. Don't, that's not a thing. But you might not be interested in that coding. So train and keep training only in those fields that you feel comfortable in. But always remember, keep at least one backup. One backup plan should be there, at least one backup plan, because if one is failing, you definitely have to have other plans working out for you. So apart from that, always you know what a training is. Why does always these soldiers keep on doing exercises? Because it's not because they are not combat ready. Only if they train and keep on training, they'll keep that habit of being combat ready. If you lose out on the habit of being combat ready, you will definitely fail. So training is very important. So whenever you get time, find time, discuss with each other, put yourself in hackathons or kind of these programs that you're building in. Have the patience. You need to have the patience to listen somebody out completely, and then take what you need from those words, then only apply in your life. Okay. And finally, I would just say, be a kid. Okay. Why you want to be a kid? That's my question. Why you have to be a kid? We all grow up. That's the problem. We all grow up. We all tend to grow up. If you have a kid in yourself, what is the good thing about kids? Guys, good thing about kids. Careless, carefree, not careless, carefree. Rashmi, I think you meant carefree, right? Innocent, yes, correct. They ask questions, correct. They don't have any inhibitions. They always want to know more, correct. There are no responsibility. Maybe you intended something else. Good. Creative, yes, Sandesh, creative, funny. They always keep trying. Correct, correct, correct. So that is the goodness of kid. If you are a kid at heart, okay, you can be a mature person. See, in the left side, that young kid is not inhibited by the kind of dirt he or she is playing in. Not inhibited at all. But we will be thinking about that. Oh my God, I'm going to get dirty. And kids are so lovable. They openly express their love. See, the daughter is expressing love for the father, and the kid in the left down is listening to her mother, and the kid on the right top is reading a book, and the other kid, the last one, is actually thinking something very spooky or something very imaginative. But that is what we are not accustomed to. We have actually left it a long time back. Be a kid, be enjoyable, express your feelings. Not like express your feeling of anger. Don't express it. Kindly don't. Try to avoid it or try to get around it some way. Express your joy, express your appreciation. If you're doing good, just say, okay, you're doing great. You have to say that. If you don't accept something, just take them to a corner and just say, guys, I mean, boy or pal, you're not doing it correct. Okay, I don't appreciate that. Don't say it in front of everybody. And here is like you're putting brakes on your imagination. When you're a kid, you could think about so many stories. Doesn't matter if those stories are stupidity or even something of lunacy, but all stories were imaginative. You have to dream. So with that thing, I come to the end of the first part. I think the first part was a little draggy, but if it was not, I'm happy. If it were, just please let me know with your feedbacks. So these are the small things that I want to share with you, which you can take forward in your life. If you think you can take forward in life, you should take it. You should have values. You should operate on principles. Principles should be there with you, because if you don't hold on to your principles in life, you will lose out in finding yourself. Hold on to your principles. Principles that are good enough. Okay. Thanks, Sandesh. Thanks. I hope everybody feels like you only. Even if they don't, let me know, be critical. Thank you. And so we'll go to the next session. Okay, this was for you to actually look for jobs. So I didn't give you any hint on which way you should look. The only hint I gave was like, look to what you are strong at. Look to what you're passionate about. You need to find your passion. If you don't find your passion, you will have to wait another like 10 or 14 years like me to actually pursue in your passion. Okay. So this is a part 2. It's about fail fast. So fail fast, but fail smart. What do you mean by fail fast? Am I asking you to actually fail and go away? What do you mean by fail fast? What is the advantage of failing fast? What is the advantage of failing fast? Yeah, experiment. What is the advantage of failing fast? See, failing fast gives you an idea where you are wrong. If you fail early, you can understand that you are wrong in this section and you can learn out of it. But if you're failing on a later part in life, say if right now it's the correct time for you to fail, take risks. Okay, nobody will ask you. But a person like me, when late 30s and trying to take a risk, I cannot afford to fail. If I'm failing, people will raise questions at you. Say, you are a family man. How irresponsible can this be? Okay, how can you take such a decision? You're such an irresponsible person. Okay, don't you think that you have made the greatest mistake of your life? So such things of question and self-criticism, because I will also feel, okay, I did a big thing. This is the risk that I'm taking. This is a great problem. So earlier the failure, you can learn more. Okay, you can learn that these are the things that I'm bad at, and these are the things I have to work on. These are the things that I can improve myself upon. Okay, so this is the benefit of failing fast. It doesn't mean that you have to fail. Definitely, if you are failing, you will improve yourself. If you're not failing early, then the problem is that if you're failing on a later stage, you might not be able to take it. I think that was what happened to, say, I'm not the person to judge, but I think that was what happened to the case with the latest suicide of one of the great actors, great young actors in Indian industry. So I think he didn't get an opportunity to fail. People supported him too much. Maybe that is the reason that happened. Anyway, I don't have an authority in saying that, but anyway, that is what I think. So that is the reason why you should fail. So failing fast, it's simply failing for a startup. When I'm coming directly to a startup. Okay, somebody who is interested in a startup needs to understand that if he's failing fast, he can make the corrections, again go forward with this idea. So this has to have a scientific backing or a methodology that can help that person to correct. That methodology is defined in something called as Agile. Have you heard the name Agile? A-G-I-L-E, Agile?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Agile is a framework that enables, it's just a framework, okay? It is a framework that enables you to foresee things, use tools to actually measure your work and to come out with outputs. Agile doesn't say explicitly that you should do this. No, it doesn't. It says, okay, these are the kind of framework that you can use, you can adapt, then you can inspect and be transparent to the entire thing. And TIA are the three pillars of, say, Scrum or Agile or whatever it is. Transparency, adapt, and inspect. You have to always inspect what you're doing. You have to adapt to the changes, and you have to be very transparent in what you're doing. You cannot hide things. At least within your group, you cannot hide things. Okay, this is not possible. So use those principles, use those framework to actually better your things. So this is what got lean startup into being. So lean startup is especially for startup things only, which says that you try it out. If you're failing, no problem, you can correct and you can go back and win. But in that agile thing, only it is said fail fast. But fail smart is another thing that you should understand. See, it is, you are not working to actually get failures. If you're getting failure, good. But if you're getting failure, make sure that that kind of failure or related kind of failures don't happen in future. You have to cover up all the things. So that means you have to do a good risk analysis and cover up for all the threats that are coming out. You have to make sure, say for example, I'll tell you something. One of my friends had a good business running in 2008. 2018. What happened was the first flood in history of Kerala came in. His warehouse was in Cochin. The entire thing got flooded. Okay. So what he did was, like, he understood that this is the problem. So what are the risk analysis I should do? What he did was, like, he actually split his production. The very same year, he split his production and storage houses into 5 other locations. So that even if one location is gone, he is not getting affected for his supply chain. Exactly same time the next year, I think the first came in 2017 and the second came in 2018, right? If I'm wrong, please correct me. Anyway, the consequent year also, the flood came. The same warehouse, or in Cochin, the warehouse got flooded. But this time he had prepared for the worst. So he had other 4 warehouses from which he could actually sustain the supply chain. So he could, because he foresaw the entire thing, because he had a failure, he could actually think about it, because he couldn't leave the warehouse at Cochin, because Cochin is a very great business market with which he can sustain. But he removed the, distributed the warehouses to 4 other locations, and he got a workaround condition. So this is the kind of thing that you learn from and work upon. So this is called fail fast but fail smart. So guys, you have to tell me, what is the most important thing or itinerary that an innovation needs? Is it science or technology? What do you think? The most important thing an innovation imperatively needs. Market demand, good. Need, yes. Belief, yes. Plan, yes. The most important thing. Research and development, yes. Efficiency, yes. I'm so happy that nobody is telling technology. Imagination, yes. Okay, somebody said technology. Okay, Ria, good. Thinking out of the box to be correct. What do you mean by thinking out of the box? That's a good thing. Okay. Observation. Solving the real problems. You're coming close, Vishnu. You're coming close. Adaptation, correct. Anything else? Making the job simpler. Yes, solving the real problem. I think Lakshmi and Vishnu are almost in the same. I mean, Madhav and Vishnu are on the same boat now. Idea, great, great, great. If somebody thinks technology is the first thing that, or science is the first thing that is actually needed for innovation, Yeah, don't go behind the crowd, Amar. Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. But even in a market where I'll just come to the case study pretty later. I mean, very soon, which is like would be contradicting Amar's statement. Don't go beyond the crowd. I'll just explain on that. I'm not saying that Amar is wrong. Good, Vishnu, competition correct. So if somebody is saying that idea is something or technology is something that is like going to change innovation, I would slightly differ from that. Idea and technology are assisting factors. Market demand is also assisting factors. The first and foremost thing that needs to be addressed is the problem statement. Do you have a problem? If so, why do you have the problem? If so, why there is no solution to the problem as yet? If so, why that solution is not proper? If so, why can't it be proper? If so, why that thing is still existent? It comes down to a point where you cannot further go down in why. That questioning is called a problem statement analysis. If you have a problem statement, to get a problem statement, you need the first quality the second quality I taught you or I introduced to you, which you'll be doing, empathy. If only you have an empathy, you will understand the problem statement. And there need to be a generalization of the problem statement. There need to be a generalization of the problem statement. And problem statements has to be analyzed. If for a lean startup and all, this can be analyzed in a model, on a framework. And that framework is called lean startup or failing fast. If you have empathy towards a problem, you can actually understand the problem statement. You can actually broaden the scope of the problem statement, and then you can set out to find a solution to the problem statement. When you go and set out to find a solution to the problem statement, you come up with innovations. So like it's very comically it is said, like the NASA built up an anti-gravity pen to write in zero gravity, that is in space, whereas the Russians used simple pencil to write. Actually, that story is not true. Even Russians said that it is not possible to write with pencil. They have issues with that. But anyway, if it were used, then it means that the pencil gave you a very simple alternative to the millions of dollars invested to find an anti-gravity pen. So the solution was very simple. The thing was that they actually looked into the problem, what their problem was. So find out the problem statement first, and that has to be done with empathy. So that is the quality you have to create. No matter what, you have to create everything. You have to find in the eyes of empathy. Then only you will be able to find solutions. So I think empathy is the thing that you need. So this is a case study. I wanted to actually show you that technology is not needed. So I don't know if I can show you that because nothing is audible to you. Anyway, this was about Mumbai city. Have you heard about Dabbawalas? Dabbawalas? Mumbai, yeah. So at least some have heard. So Mumbai Dabbawalas, the history goes back to 125 years. 125 years. So every Dabbawala in Mumbai is given 10 to 15K per month for the services he's doing. It's like a non-profit organization built up of not many societies. Okay. Very recently only, they have gone to the adoption of technology for booking and e-token generation, all kinds of things. Other than that, Forbes have given them the rating of 99.9999999 percentage error-free rate. That means in Six Sigma terms, they have the Six Sigma achievement without using even a single piece of technology. Even a single piece of technology. So in 6 million dabbas they carry, they make one mistake. That is what Six Sigma means. In 6 million dabbas they carry, they make one mistake. And actually they say it is like better than 6 million dabbas. They haven't made mistake in the past 4 years. So it's a kind of simple system, a simple problem solution system. After asking a lot of questions in why, they came up with that. So you don't have to have a technology to actually give a good solution. So these videos you can watch, because these are things, and they were Harvard, they were featured in Harvard, Stanford, Massachusetts, everywhere you name, they were featured for case studies. Everywhere, Mumbai Dabbawalas. And it's a great thing that these people do. Okay. So now this is the lean process. How do you operate in lean? So you can see initially there is an ideation and analysis. Like somebody comes up with an idea. An idea is almost always born out of a problem that person is facing. Okay, you had a problem from when you travel from A to B, you come up with an idea to solve that problem. That is your ideation. Then you have to, it is not just ideation, then you have to find out how many people have that same problem. Okay, that is where the empathy part comes in. The more you find out, the more requirement you find there is a demand, or the people who are there doesn't know about the currently existing things. Okay, so if that currently existing thing is applied to their life, will it become better, or will it become worse? That kind of analysis can be done only with empathy. And then you have to find out what is the constituent of that problem, or what is the constituent of that solution. Then you start building it. See, this is not a technological process. You can do anything. Say if in your town there is a problem of making good atta or good quality, say one kind of food item. You decide that, okay, you are best in doing that. I can give them good service. I am very sure about that. What you do, you completely identify who all are giving that, and what are the prices they are giving it, and what are the problems these people are facing, what are the problems the customers are facing due to these people, and why they are not satisfied, and how you can fit into that. So that is called point of differentiation, POD. If you have a POD and you're very confident that you can actually break the POD, you start building it. Once you build it, say in have you heard about the cake sisters in Talasheri, Kannur Talasheri? Have you heard about the cake sisters? They are one of the great providers of cakes in northern Malabar. They're really great. I mean, I have tasted their cakes. Talasheri is so famous for cakes. Talasheri is actually famous for circus, cricket, and cakes. The only place in India or Kerala which concentrate on circus. And cakes, bakery items are so beautifully made in Talasheri. So there, cake sisters found a market for themselves, and they understood what the point of differentiation is. They deliver superbly tasty cakes addressing to the exact problems that normal bakers don't cater to, and they are very famous. So that was a point of differentiation. They put it to testing among their friends and family first, and they got good responses. What they did, they went from responses, they started building again, testing again, they iterated, and they scaled up. Okay, suppose there was a point where they felt that this was not good enough, some negative feedback came from the responding side, they again went back to the ideation, where they analyzed what went wrong, or what portion of the cake making went wrong, or what ingredient went wrong. That is an experiment they had to do. Okay, then again come back to the constituent discovery that made this thing wrong. And from there, they started building again, testing again, responding. If you're getting it up, they scale up. So this is how you work. In a normal startup, this is how you work. You have an idea, you put yourself in the shoes of people who are having pain or related to that idea, having pain, or that pain statement has to be taken in. Then try to generalize how many people are having this pain. Try to find out, are there any solutions to the pain? Try to find out if there are solutions, why it is not used. So if it is used, even if you are sending, if you're taking this thing and putting it to use, why is that it is not getting successful? So all these questioning techniques you can come up with, and then you can actually start building on it. Whenever the building part is broken, it has to come back to the ideation state again. So that means response is bad, means having a failure. If you are failing at the earliest, that is the best thing. So when you are starting to build something, make sure that you're making the minimum viable product, MVP. If you're making a cake, if you're very good at making chocolate cake, make the simplest chocolate cake possible so that you're not making too much of an expenditure. And that simplest cake is sent to the people for testing. And then you get a response. What do? You actually add a little bit of icing to it. Then you send out again for testing. Okay. So again, if it is getting okay, what do? You take back. And you again add on the other portion, say butterscotch or strawberry or something like that. So every time you actually do the cycle, wherever there is a problem, you fail, you understand that there is a particular portion that made you fail. You identify that portion, correct it, come back again, build. So the smallest portion is called MVP. You build on the MVP to achieve more success. Am I making sense to you guys, or am I going fast, or am I beating about the bush? Guys? Yeah, okay. Okay. So MVP is something, even if you are a tech person, even if you are not a tech person, even if you don't know the term MVP, just understand something that can be put to the market at the earliest. That is MVP. All of a sudden, Safa decides to make biryani. She is very good at making biryani. Okay, one special item biryani. She decides that I'm going to make a full-fledged biryani first. No, the best thing is, like, I'll just make a small portion of biryani which I'm very confident in, and I'll circulate it among my friends and family. If they are saying I'm good, I'll make the addition next. I'll tweak my plan next. I'll tweak this, I'll tweak that, I'll add this thing, I'll add this one. Every time she sends out the new product, she'll get feedback. She'll definitely get feedback. If those feedbacks at any point of time is bad, she has to go back to the point where that particular change was made and that change failed. Okay, so though that change has to be analyzed and again corrected, tweaked, and the new product taken. So what is she saving? She doesn't have to actually iterate and be in her self-containment zone and decide what is best for the others. Let the others find out what is best for them, and then she can cater to what is needed, or she can cater to the actual market demand. Am I making sense? Okay. So we have lost around how many people? 84 were there. So 60 have come back. So 24 lost. So 25% attrition. Good. I think those people were feeling really bored. Okay. So this is kind of main startup, the measure and how it holds out. Okay. So understand the problem of the customer, design a solution, design a business model. These are all complicated. I just put it up. Simply speaking, that is the example with biryani I gave you. That is more than enough. But you have to understand what is the requirement. Okay. Now, the single greatest problem that you face when you deliver a product, what is that? Apart from the feedback and everything, what is the single greatest problem that you face? Apart from how it looks, how it tastes and everything, what is the greatest problem that you face? Fund, okay, fund might be a problem. Yes, marketing. Say, Niranjana, you decide you can talk a lot. You are a very affable person. You decided to take your product to every doorstep. No matter how long it takes, you can go directly market for yourself because you are very confident about your product and you can market yourself. So marketing, will that become a problem? Yeah, it is a challenge. I understand, but will that become a problem? Ashish, fund is a problem, yes, but fund can be competition. Definitely, Yunus, you will always have a competition. As long as you are alive, you will definitely have a competition. Do you think that Ola didn't have a competition? Uber didn't have a competition? The auto drivers were a competition. The taxi wallahs already existent were a competition. The rickshaws were a competition. Everyone is a competition. Identifying a demand. Yes, demand. See, I am just taking back the case of Niranjana. She is going door to door. She knows, okay, she has made 30 packets of rice muruk and she's going door to door. She's very confident that it's very tasty. She knows that she can, after her marketing, she can just penetrate it. Okay, the demand she can create. Analyzing the demand is a big problem. Yes. Yeah, Jubin, no problem. You can just leave, no problem. I don't have any problem in people leaving. No issue at all. Even I leave from seminars. The relationship of the product with the public. Yes. Okay. How it connects. Yes, that sentiment is there. Anything else? And here, why you're doing the business? Why you're selling something? Why? For what you're selling in return? Okay, profit is something else. What you're selling? It's for money, right? So you have to sell a product for a price. Pricing is a big problem. I'll just give you an example in this. It's a great example. I had a chat with one of the pioneers in branding and marketing in a hotel in Bangalore, Radisson Blu. So it was a 5-star hotel. I just asked him, sir, how can you actually decide what is the best price for a product? He said, see, that's a very difficult question that one can put to oneself or to others. And he asked me, okay, can you buy me tea from this place, Radisson Blu? I just looked up the menu and I found that one cup of tea was costing around 250 rupees. One cup of tea. I said, sir, would you mind going out? We can have good tea from the nearby stall. He said, why you're asking me to go out? Sir, this is very costly. 250 per cup means like I have to order 2 cups definitely. Even if I am not drinking, you will feel bad. And I have to drink 500 rupees out of my pocket. And I don't have that much of money now. So he laughed. He said, exactly that is what I meant. So the same tea made out of milk, sugar, water, tea leaves, why is it costing 10 rupees outside and why is it costing 250 rupees inside this hotel? It's because the pricing is not for the commodity that you make. The pricing is for the person who is buying the commodity. So the pricing has to be made for the market that you are addressing. If you are addressing an A grade market, you have to make the quality of that thing like that, definitely there. Build quality, everything has to be there. But that market, like it's the simple case of iPhone. How many can afford an iPhone? I can't afford an iPhone. iPhone 10, iPhone 11 is actually beyond my 2 months salary, if I'm talking about salaries now. So iPhone I can't afford. It's the market that they are concentrating. If it's an iPhone, it's an iPhone. That kind of belief people is harboring, then they are addressing that market. People who are willing to spend that much of money for a phone, they're addressing that market. Similarly, people who are willing to spend 250 rupees for a cup of tea, they will come to that Radisson Blue hotel only and have tea. And mind you, there were a lot of people having tea there. And I don't understand how they can how they can spend 250 rupees for a cup of tea. That is my frame of mind. But those people with a frame of mind different from mine, who can afford that, they are charged. So the pricing is for the people who are, or the market segment who are actually getting the benefit. So pricing is according to that. So you have to identify your target market. If you're coming out with a product, you have to get and identify a target market. The same kind was what I discussed earlier. If you are coming out with yourself as a product, for a job, you have to identify the target market and sell yourself only to that target market. Not go everywhere. It is not possible. Nobody will accept you. Okay. So that is my piece of advice for you. So this I would just leave out. If somebody has something with this thing, I will tell you. So I'll just briefly explain this anyway. So what is a UX? Does anybody know what a UX is? UX is user experience. Exactly, Vishnu. Correct. So Vishnu, user experience, and others who doesn't know what UX is. UX is something that is born out of empathy. How the user feels. Okay. How the product looks is different. That is called what? UI, user interface. Okay. How the product looks, how it is appealing, everything is like the UI. The UX part is like this is given only for IT kind of scenario, so don't confuse. Everything has got a UX and a UI, everything. So you can give different names to that, but everything has got a UX anyway. So UX is based on the thinking of empathy. So there, empathy is a big factor affecting your design. So be very empathic about other person. You start doing that. You start doing that kind of analysis. You start being in the habit of cultivating empathy. I would request, it's a very difficult process, but you have to start doing that. Somebody is scolding you. Try to put yourself in his shoes or her shoes. You will feel that that scolding might be, that you might be deserving that scolding. Okay. So that kind of steps, in baby steps, you can be in. So UX is that. I mean, UX and UI management and all those things are a big section which would need a lot of attention to it. So how can we achieve that kind of thing? It's like, see, root cause analysis method or RCA method is one set of tool that can analyze a problem. So RCA method has got like 5 whys problem, challenger interviews, role playing, flowchart management, fishbone diagram, tree branch analysis. So many things are there. So just like we'll just take a simple problem which I got from Wikipedia on 5 whys. See, 5 why doesn't mean that at the end of the 5th why you should get a problem. It is just a template saying it's a 5 whys. Say, first problem is battery is dead. First why. Why is the battery dead? I mean, the car is not starting. Okay, car is not starting. Why? Because the battery is dead. Why the battery is dead? Because the alternator is not functioning. Alternator is the unit which is charging the battery. Okay. Why the alternator is why it is not functioning? Because the alternator belt has broken, or belt is gone. So why it has broken? Alternator belt was well beyond its useful service life and not replaced. Forgot to replace that. So again, why didn't you replace? The vehicle was not maintained according to the recommended service schedule. So see, this is the service schedule that you missed, and due to that, a catastrophic or like fall of dominoes problem started and resulted in the battery being dead and the vehicle not starting. So this kind of analysis is called root cause analysis. Always use whys. why, until you get a problem from which you cannot break down further. Single problem or a multiple number of problems from where you cannot break down further. If you're getting a looping problem, that loop is coming back again and again, that means your analysis was wrong. You have to redo the analysis. The second method is called the follow principle, break rule. See, one thing you should always bear in mind, you should always follow the principles you set out. Do not give away the principles. The moment you give away the principle, your fall is starting. If you're holding on to your principles, but be very sure that principles are not something that is actually making you go down. Principles should be something that should take you forward. Okay, so don't break your principles. But breaking rule is fine, because all revolutionary designs came out of something called as bending the rules. It's not breaking the rules, bending the rules. They bent the rules. The new rules became what they said. Okay, what they said became the new rules. So they bent the rules, then the new rules is what they said. So the new standards became their rules. So bending the rules by following the principle. It's very easy example is the life of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs always held on to the principle of obsession, utter obsession to the product and the belief he always had, that he wanted people to have good quality product. He never let that principle go. And he was very adamant. He was a badass in all matter. He was thrown out of his company at the age of 30, but he still came back. He took that company 56 years. At the end, when he went down with pancreatic cancer, he had taken company to such great heights that it is unimaginable. Maybe he died as a lonely man, but that's a different story. But this is how he broke the rules of conventional thinking. He actually brought out the new rules of how product should be, how people should be looking at the product, and how people should feel about owning something. So that is called Shuhari. Shuhari is a method like follow principle, break the rule method. So these kind of methods you can use to actually form your kind of thoughts. So see, these are all theory things. You don't have to follow any of these, but you don't follow gut feelings. Gut feelings are never going to take you forward. You always have to rely on data. Data, you understand the data, you decide what is good from that data. Then you go ahead with the decision. Sometimes there might be a good gut feeling needed, but that gut feeling also should be an intelligent guess backed by data knowledge. Because that is what I was trying to tell you. So just observe. These are two brands. Okay, one right side you know, the left side is a new product. Okay, that has come to the market. Can these two compete? Or what are the differences that you find in these two? Observe. One, obviously, the name you know. One is funded by a multi-bagger company. Yes. Leaving all that apart. Ashish, you are on the right track. Packaging. Yes, go on. One is potato, one is banana. Great. Madhav, correct. One is funded by a multi-bagger company. That's correct. You cannot even take down Lays, or you cannot even compare Lays to this thing. No, it's not possible. Anything else? 51 people who are. I mean, only 3 of them have responded. Safa, I think you are a very good entrepreneur. Traditional packing, Divya, yes. What is traditional about it? Regional and international, Lakshmi, correct? Divya Lakshmi, what is so traditional about it? Variety of choices in Lays. Yes, Ashish, correct. One is made from coconut oil, other is made in foreign oil. No, mother, it's not made in coconut oil. Both are not made in coconut oil. Advertisements, yes, Safa, it's correct. Advertisements, correct. Name, yes, name. Where? Which name? Come close. Marketing, yes, marketing is there, yes. Brand name, yes. Is there any difference in the brand name or branding process or branding kind of approach? Is there any Divya, it's wrong. Lays is more processed. No. Even this chips is better than Lays. Processing is better than Lays. See, Lays is fried, and this chips that that's shown in the left side is fried using an Australian machine process. It takes only 40% of the oil normally used for frying. 40% means 60% less oil is used. So this one is more sophisticated. Kerala banana chips is not so versatile, so it cannot compete with Lays. Okay, go on. No. See, Divya, don't feel anything wrong with that, but I just want to inform. Okay. What do you feel from the packing? How is it different? Do you see the brand names highlighted being the same? The highlight of the brand name same? See, the brand names, one is called Beyond Snack. Okay. The other is Snack. Lays. So Lays has given a bigger picture or a bigger appearance to the brand name. Okay. And the flavor name is actually given a lesser importance. The other one, the brand name is actually given less importance, and Kerala banana chips and the flavor is given more importance, with the Kathakali figure giving additional benefit to that. And see, at the bottom it is said zero cholesterol, zero so and so, high fiber, and all those kind of things is given. So in branding, Lays is a brand name that doesn't need explanation. But this person, or the Kerala banana chips person, cannot compete using Beyond Snack trade name with Lays. So what is that person doing? He is actually pursuing that need or opportunity where people think from outside Kerala or even inside Kerala, people think that Kerala banana chips is a healthier option. Like our Nendrakai. See, our banana chips is made of Nendrakai. See, the other banana chips that is available to the other states and all, it's not made from Kerala banana or Nendrakai. Okay, so it is so this kind of differentiation is made from the fact that Kerala banana chips sells out a lot and people understand what Kerala banana chips is. And Kerala banana chips is not associated with the thought of using coconut oil, because only even in Kerala 95% of the people use coconut oil, but outside Kerala not even 10% use coconut oil, and not even more than 10% actually prefers using coconut oil. So Kerala banana chips, that brand value revolves around the fact that Kerala banana chips is deemed healthy or better in fiber content, and adding on to that, they are making this high fiber, low fat option. So that means healthy options is also given to that person. So this branding revolves around the strength of the knowledge of the opportunity of Kerala banana chips or Kerala banana being what? Healthier or tastier than the others. It doesn't go around the brand image like Lays. So this is how you have to perform your branding. So what is the point of differentiation, or what is the feature that makes it unique or that makes it better? Even if the chips inside this thing is the same quality as best made chips locally, like in Kozhikode, Calcutta and all, they make really good chips. Even if it is actually very near to the quality of that, the branding style is so different. They make the thing more global, more appealable. with a flavor that is known to people. Like peri peri is a flavor, then cream and onion is a flavor, and classic salted is a flavor. These flavors are known to people, and people actually take those flavors as good, right? They feel that okay, they have taken the option with Lay's or Bingo or Parley or something like that, and they felt that the flavor is giving good. But these people are actually bringing those flavors revolving around the brand name of Kerala banana chips. So how they're positioning and how it is being branded differs in your point of differentiation. So did that make sense? Oh, it's come down to under 50. Great, great. People are actually trying to leave. It's 9:15. So I think it's time for us to wind up. But this is the kind of insight that I wanted to give you. So say the next time, if there is something that you want me to, so I'm just trying to wind up. So this is like 9:15. I don't want to take more of your time. And if I would request you to give a honest feedback on what you thought about this thing and what you want, or what less I should include, or what more I should include in this, or see, including videos was my part of a plan, but it actually failed. But I share the entire PPT with the team, and Alida, I think she'll ensure that it is shared to everyone. And please go through the PPT, and if you feel that there is something that you need to talk to me directly, or you don't want to communicate through Alida, which I prefer, always communicate through the person who is holding this thing. She will also come, or the team will also come to know about what is the feedback on the event and all those things. Kindly do critical feedback, and I would make it better the next time, come up with solutions to make it right. And I wanted to do a case study. Unfortunately, case study is not possible. It will take at least 45 minutes. I don't want to do it. Maybe on a later date, people who are really interested, you can sign up for another thing. I will do say a 2-hour case study kind of thing, where you will completely delve into the art of doing that thinking process. Okay, so this thing I will share. And by that thing, this is like more of lean optimization, all those things. Lean and everything, it's all available in the net. But something that you want to learn specifically, we will have a discussion later, or on a later date, as Alida thinks, Alida and her team thinks fit. No problem. So for this time, I'm signing off, and I thank you all for the patience that you have shown, and this opportunity given by GECI team for me to take such a class in front of a crowd, and all those people who have left for various reasons. Thank you all for lending your ears, and you people also, you deserve a lot of congrats and patience. You're patient enough to listen out. So listening is the first thing that you should do, the most thing that you should do in life. And I think that I always see my wife as the best listener. I mean, she listens to me for hours. Even if I'm talking shit, she listens to me. So a kind of listening capacity you should build. And please be critical enough to say what are the negative feedback. So Alida, I just hand over this thing to you. You can go on if there is some note.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I hope that everyone enjoyed this session well. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you all. Thank you. Let's wind up.
Thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you.